안녕하세요. 저는 한국에 있는 인도 사람 중에 제일 유명한 럭키입니다.
Okay, good to have you.
Hey Steve, finally. I've been working so hard to be in this chair right now with you.
Well, you're the famous one.
I'm trying to be, so I can talk with you.
Lucky, so that's a very nice name. Is that like your original Indian name?
Yes, it is. Like most of the Indians, we have two names.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
So my passport name, or they say like your Indian name is Abhishek, and my family name is Gupta, so that makes me Abhishek Gupta.
How many years have you been in Korea now?
It's my 22nd year actually.
Given the fact that you've been here for 22 years, how's your Korean?
평범한 외국인보다 잘하는 편이에요. 일단 말하는 것도 되지만은 쓸 수도 있고, 왜냐하면 여기서 주식회사 대표로 돼 있기 때문에 아예 서류도 다 작성할 수 있고.
Back in like 90s, did you have like an impression of Korea before you
Nothing,
came over
zero.
here?
Like most of the kids in India, like your parents are very instrumental, like what you should study and what is a safe future for you. My dad, he knew people in Hyundai back then through his business, and he thought to send me to Korea is much better than sending us westwards. You know, mostly Indian kids are sent to like England or US to study abroad. So I came here. Not my choice. I had no idea because we didn't have any internet. There was nothing, no blogging, nothing. So, like what I knew was probably 88 Olympics, and I was 19 back then.
Right.
So, I was like, okay, I will just go there. It's a foreign country, and I will come back and do something in India.
Right.
So that was my initial plan. I came, and it was a big cultural shock because I thought maybe people will speak a little bit of English here, but when I came here back then, English was really a very difficult language to communicate. And food, you go to any restaurant, there was no English menu.
So you don't speak the language and you're in this like a very foreign country. How did Korean people back then treat you?
I'll tell you one story. It's a very small example, but I just went to a convenience store to buy something to drink, and the lady was like, oh, maybe because she's scared of maybe something will happen to me, or maybe something will happen to her, or maybe she does not know how to speak English. Like if I'm trying to talk to my neighbor back then, like they were like, why is he trying to talk to me? In general, Koreans don't say hi to their neighbors, to each other as well. It's not they're doing it to the foreigner. Like Koreans don't say hi in an elevator in the morning, you know. So it's part of the culture. You have to understand it.
Right. But at the time, you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. So for it's like it's a rude shock. Like I'm trying to say, oh hi, Ajashi, and the Ajashi's like
They just look at you like, what the? Why is he talking?
Why? What's wrong?
Were there any instances, like especially in your early years in Korea, where you felt like maybe it's out of ignorance or prejudice, but you were actually discriminated based on your ethnic background?
Not only then, still I guess. Still, like I should be honest, like still to a lot of extent, after all these years of hard work, I managed to buy a very nice apartment at the river. The moment I take a cab they ask me for some, where are you from? And I say, I'm from India. And so like, you're from India? Why you live in such an expensive apartment?
So they assume that you're poor.
They assume. They have this, you know, because most of taxi drivers, they're not updated about India, or they still look at India from 50s. The second question follow up when I say like, oh, it's okay, Gisain, I'm just a hardworking guy, you know, it's okay. Like, you must be making a lot of money here. You get this kind of question once and twice, and when it becomes like, okay, 5 times a month, you realize like, okay, you have to give him an answer where you're not hurting him. Because just by telling him mind your own business, you're not actually solving the problem. You know, you're creating maybe a second problem.
I think I saw an article about this, but you were like turned away at like club or something. Could you just explain the whole story?
Okay. So This is last year when I was going to an after party. So we were in this line of a very famous lounge bar, and I've been to that place before as well. It's a very nice, like
It's like a club,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
club. And there was the guy,
Like a bouncer, right?
yeah, the bouncer. He was just asking to give your ID, and it's a normal thing in any of the Korean. They have to check your age, and
Sure.
it's nothing wrong in that. I'm like, okay, here is my card, and he looks, oh, 1 second, are you from India? I said, yes, I'm from India. Oh, here. And meanwhile, he's just sending my other friends inside. I'm like, what happened right now? I've been here before. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't fought. I have no crime record in your club or anything. The guy's like, we don't allow Indians, Mongolians, Vietnamese. He took like 5-6 countries. And I was like, wait, 1 second. What are you like? You just said like you're not allowing people from this nationality. Why? It's our policy. We don't want. I said like, what kind of policy is that? And then I tried to reveal my identity. Like some guy from back in the line was seeing this. He took a picture and he actually posted this guy from India who's on television. He's popular and he forget to bring his iCard maybe, and he's trying to throw tantrums.
But you had your ID with you,
I
and
had
the
my
guy
idea,
just
everything.
was being
He was just like, he was thinking they're not letting me in, and I'm trying to create a scene.
Right.
Because they're not actually listening to the conversation. You go back home, you're already like furious, like this has happened and the country you love, the country you're a part of it. So this kind of things are happening.
What was like your lowest point?
To be very honest, I was about to quit to live in Korea in the first 6 months. Like the first month, I must have, because there was no emails, I was writing handwritten letters to my family, telling them maybe this is not where I belong at, honestly. I came in 96, and after 6 months, my father died all of a sudden. Like it was not like we were expecting his death or something. It just changed the whole way I was thinking. Like I thought like, if he visioned something about me being in Korea and doing something great, I should adapt to this country. I should learn, and I should be successful in this country to make him happy, actually. Like before that, if anything was a trouble, I would think to give it up. After that, I try to overcome it. Like every challenge I accepted, like if this is happening to me in Korea, it won't change if I go to state or back in India. You cannot just blame it on the society. This like it's how the way you look at it.
What I'm hearing is that even though you may have been exposed to what could objectively be seen as like a racist behavior, you chose to interpret it in a way that, oh, it's just because they don't know who I am.
Yes.
And you just kept that positive mindset.
It's if they don't think I'm good now, I should make me a better person to recognize, and that's the reason maybe I like even my television thing. I'm not never a first choice of a television actually.
What did you study in college?
I did economics. I was a commerce student. Again,
So you're an economics major.
Yeah.
How do you go from like a business guy to being on TV? Like, how did you get your break?
I did one show called Sesang Yachim in 2001, which was supposed to travel all over Korea, eat Korean food, and experience the culture. There was actually one foreigner girl who was picked for this show. And a day before that, the shooting, she just canceled. So they just called me like, can you just come for one episode and we'll see. And I know this is my one chance. So I did so well. I was trying to be like, mix the cultural aspects of Korea and India. I was picked for one episode, but I got a 2-year contract after that. So I realized like you have to just give your best shot at everything you do. And in 2016, I got a call from one of the writers who I worked in my KBS days back in 2001. She was doing a show called Suyo Mishike, which is like a Wednesday food gourmet. It's a very popular show, still going on about the food. And she's like, we're doing a special episode on Indian curry. And I knew you were always talking about Indian food and you're so passionate about cooking. Can you just come and be a guest on our show? So I just went for fun. And I was totally enjoying again being in front of camera and all these famous people sitting in front of you. One of the main MC of the show was also doing hosting the show called Pijong Samhedam. He recommended my name to the makers of that show, and they just called me, and I was part of Pijong Samhedam, and life changed after that.
Have you heard from other Indian people who came to Korea because of you?
I haven't got that mail. That will make me cry actually. That will be too much of a, but I get a lot of fan mails from India now. So if you look at the eastern part of India, the states of Nagaland or Mizoram, where the major population is Mongolian race, and there's a huge fan base for K-pop or Korean drama. Like they have a huge fan following. And because of my restaurant, like we get once in a while some K-pop idols coming to my restaurant and posting pictures, and they're like, oh, our Uppa was in your restaurant. What did he like? Did he like the tandoori chicken? Did he like the naan? Cheers. Cheers.
Would you say that it's very hard to find authentic Indian food in Korea?
There are 200 Indian restaurants only in Seoul. When these restaurants are coming to Korea, they try to make Koreans happy in a way. They make the restaurant look like India. They change the whole flavor. They try to sweeten, or they try to use the local taste palettes, rather keeping it original. So I try to make a twist there. I made the whole interior very neutral, very modern. We are using very modern setup, the music, only using like maybe a little bit of Bollywood screen, not music, just visual, and focus only on the food. So like a lot of Koreans, they come, they say like, this is spicy than the other in your restaurant. I said, yes, I'm not going to put sugar to make you happy. It's a butter chicken. You should definitely try this.
I think this restaurant is going to be a huge hit if more people knew about it. In terms of your identity, like, do you see now yourself more as a Korean or Indian, or are you both?
I'm a very proud Indian, but this country has given me so much. My bread and butter, my restaurant, or my fame, and I'm in debt. I'm very, very thankful, and I just want to be a part of this society. And I think like this is so precious, like this moment. I don't know how long this is gonna last. If this is gonna be last forever, I would be so happy. But this fame comes and goes. There's nothing forever, and I want to make a biggest impact. If I'm on television, the more visible I am, it might make my voice very stronger. I'm using all this platform, trying to connect all this dot to make life for foreigners a little much easier, to make Koreans understand foreigners much more in a better way.
Well, I hope you keep it up. I think we need more people like you.
Yes.
Well, thanks for staying motivated. Even though you're already quite successful, sounds like you're just.
I'm very hungry, very.
Yeah. You're very driven to affect bigger change, which is something that I personally love to see in people. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me on your show.